struggling in just a second, but first, high school football in Michigan. East Grand Rapids.
With the telestrator.
Jack Mundell with a nice catch on a deflected pass for a 19-yard touchdown. Multiple angles on this one. Take them all in.
I hope this was last minute and a half or something, throwing across your body. Exactly what the coach tells you. Not, oh, they got a different angle. First, they had the high cam from the coach's box. Now they got someone on the sideline.
I've got an answer for you on that, C.
What?
Less than 5 minutes left, down 2 touchdowns. And so and what we don't know is
was
the
it
down,
4th down?
It's got to be 4th down.
Come on, this
got to be 4th down.
It's too many burgundy
Receiver bails him out, man. It's a great
and those
play.
dumb defenders tipping it up to each other. It's a lot of dumb guys playing defense.
Oh, man. That
no offense, Bart.
Oldie, but a good.
No offense, Bart.
Little D2 action. Texas A&M Commerce versus Western Oregon. Chance Cooper staying locked in to catch the touchdown off the deflection here.
Oh, this is great. When you're going down the field like that and the defender's right on top of you, they teach the quarterback throw it right at the top of his helmet, of the defender's helmet. Oh, he gets it exactly.
So we go from high school up to D2. The next level in the progression would be FCS level football.
All right, then let's show it to you.
Okay.
FCS.
There we go.
North Dakota State.
Oh, that's a championship.
Taking on Delaware, and this is Chi-Chi Amici making a diving touchdown catch for the Blue Hens.
Okay, Chi-Chi Amici.
Look at NCAA.com with the nice slow-mo. I mean, looking like NFL Films replay for this Delaware Blue Hens matchup.
That was a great catch there. 1 thigh means 2 feet.
Absolutely. He drug his leg. That would have been good in the NFL, too. Because the knee counts as 2 feet, to your point.
I don't know about Dean Blandino, and them might have messed that up. Oh, Dino.
No.
Oh, Dino. Dino.
He's in. He's in.
On to the Vikings now, and their $84 million man, Kirk Cousins. To say Kirk has underperformed this season would be a bit of an understatement. Currently ranked 33rd in passing yards per game to go along with as many interceptions as touchdowns. That would be 2. As Nick would say,
that ain't great.
That ain't
How's he
great.
33rd? There's 32 teams.
Yeah, but there's multiple quarterbacks.
Yeah, clearly.
No one is more aware of the quarterback's early struggles than the quarterback himself.
Believe me, I'm not going to be playing quarterback here if I play the way I did this past Sunday for much longer. So I understand that, and I look forward to getting out there and playing at a much higher level.
Mr. Former Viking yourself, how would you assess Cousins' play through 2 games?
Well, don't overreact on Thursday. He played 1 bad game at Lambeau Field. There's a lot of quarterbacks play bad games at Lambeau Field. And by the time we get through the regular season, I think that the Packers defense will be one of the elite defenses in the league. So let's just slow down just a little bit. Packers got off to a great start. Did he not play well? Yes. Coming into the season, is Kirk Cousins, is he the answer there in Minnesota? Do we leave 2 games and not have the answer? After a dominant performance on week number 1 where they didn't need him, week number 2. So let's not overreact. You show me a quarterback that's been to Lambeau Field, I'll show you a bunch of quarterbacks that have not played well in Lambeau Field.
So the key point is this is about 1 game. Because you mentioned 33rd in passing yards, but that is part of that is a victim of the success they had in week 1. Week 1, they were so dominant over Atlanta, and Dalvin Cook was so sensational, and they were up 28-0 almost instantly in that football game.
But it wasn't because of Kirk Cousins.
No, but the point I'm making is he didn't have a bad game. He just only threw the ball 10 times. Every coach in the NFL, if you told him, hey, you're going to be up 2 or 3 scores the whole game and your quarterback's going to finish the game having thrown 10 times, he's going to take it. They threw the ball 10 times, not because he wasn't good in that game, but because the running game was so great. Atlanta had, I think, their first 8 possessions ended in either a punt or, in fact, I know, ended in either a punt, turnover, or turnover on downs. Now, week 2 at Green Bay, he was awful. He was worse than 14 of 32 for 230 yards because early in the game, I'm watching that game, I think he was at one point 4 of 17 for less than 70 yards. He was really bad in that game. And there is immense pressure on Kirk because he's a guy who statistically, every year of his career, you look at the end of the season, you're like, wow, another 4,000 yards, 25-plus touchdowns. His numbers look good, and then you look at the game log, and it's like, so when was he bad? It's like, oh, this big game against the divisional rival, this Monday Night Football game, this Sunday night game. And so having the game at Green Bay, which is one of the games you circle on the schedule if you're trying to win that division, when he performs like that, that that is the concern. Let's just assume he's somewhere between his week 1 and week 2 performance. For the Vikings, it's going to be more about, can Dalvin Cook keep this up? Can the defense bounce back, which they showed you after the first quarter against Green Bay. The defense was really good. They allowed 3 straight touchdowns, then they shut Green Bay down entirely. I wouldn't panic entirely about Kirk. One thing Kirk was wrong about, though, is he said, if I don't play better, I'm not going to be the quarterback here. The fair part in bringing up the money with Kirk is this: because he has a fully guaranteed contract, he's going to be the quarterback. Like, they're not going to pull the plug on Kirk Cousins at any point this season. So he has to bounce back from that game against Green Bay. If he plays well, this can be an excellent team. They look like the defense, Chris, of 2 years ago again.
Yep,
the defense is very good. I mean, exceptional. 2 years ago, they were first or second in every category. Dalvin Cook, who they didn't have 2 years ago because he tore his ACL, he looks like the player they drafted in the first round out of Florida State, like that they thought he was going to be. And we know how good the receivers are. So Kirk is the X factor for this team, but you can't throw him out because he had a terrible game against a far improved Packers defense.
So what concerns do you have then with the Vikings if Kirk Cousins just had a bad game?
Well, all the teams right now, they got concerns. We haven't played enough football. 2 minutes into the second quarter, they're down 21-0. So to me, the biggest concern would be in the big-time matchup, can Kirk, in the fourth quarter, generate enough points for this team to be a playoff team? You got Chicago that's going to be very good, and you have the Packers are going to be very good. I think people, because of all the guaranteed money, Kirk Cousins is putting a lot of pressure on himself, but people, that's all they talk about is the money. All these quarterbacks are making money. So now any quarterback that struggles, oh, is the guy worth the money? So it's an overreaction in Minnesota. They had a bad quarter of football, and then after they got up 21-0, the defense was not going to give up any big plays. They put him under a constant rush. So how are you going to generate passing yards down the field when they're playing off of you, only allowing you to dink and dunk? So I think it's a huge overreaction. The Vikings got a good football team. They got good special teams. Kirk Cousins got to be able to pull his weight, especially in those big games.
For the Vikings, they have played 7 quarters of exceptional defense, and Dalvin Cook has played 2 straight great games. Week 1, 21 for $111. Week 2, 20 for $154. Those are that. If they are going to be a 10+ win team, it's going to be on the back of their defense and Dalvin Cook. They need Kirk Cousins not to kill him. He killed him in week 2. I don't think Kirk's a great quarterback, but I don't think he's going to kill you. If the defense and the running game maintain what they've been through 2 weeks, this will be the team, not Chicago. This will be the team competing with Green Bay for the top of the division.
All right, let's take a break. Coming up, Nick makes a list. Next on First Things First.